Welcome back to another episode of DDO 10-Minute Tips. I'm going to start a new series that I'm calling Focus, where we will be focusing in on a little more in depth on some of the things that were covered in the previous series, and we'll also be going into some things that we didn't go into because for novice players it's not something that you really need to know, but to advance you may find it to be quite handy. Some of the things we will be focusing in on are tactics and using hirelings a little bit better, feather falling. I got that one from another video, and I'll explain that later. Canith crafting, enhancement trees, and many other things as I come across them. Now, back in December of 2016, about 6 months ago as of this video, Standing Stone Games made an adjustment to the artificial intelligence that caught quite a few people by surprise. Me, still being rather new to the game, it really threw me for a loop. And listening to some of the longer time players, it pretty much harkens back to the way it was a while ago. How far back I really don't remember what they said, but what changed was how mobs get alerted. Before, when I first started playing, if you had a mob, which is a mobile object, it can be a singular or it can be a group, that if there was a series of groups or a series of single monsters, you would be able to work on one group at a time, move on to the next and work on it, and move on to the next and work on it. The alert radius around the mob was rather restricted. They adjusted the artificial intelligence to create a larger area that if something happened within that area and there was another monster from another group that just happened to fall inside that radius, that the next group would be alerted, and the next group, and the next group, however many there would happen to be. And so what could happen is you'd get a chain reaction of monsters that goes on for quite a ways, and they all come right for you. And after I played it a couple of times, it was a really tremendous improvement in my mind. And it's sometimes a little disconcerting where wave after wave of these monsters come at you and you clear them out, and then it's like the chamber's empty. And it's like, whoa. Okay. So they're always playing around with the artificial intelligence and the settings for it. One of the other things that changed recently, and I don't know exactly when because I took a little bit of a break, was in some of the dungeons I've run pretty much mostly the lower level ones, just saving up dungeon points to start buying some of the upper level ones. But in the lower ones, one of them, I used to be able to sneak up on a pair of mobs. I don't know what the terminology would be. And take out one and then go after the other. I could do that because one of them was pretty stationary. One of the tweaks they've done fairly recently is that one that was stationary may now all of a sudden just get up and start moving, which throws a whole new wrinkle into the game. So you have to be prepared for that. And that's some of the things that I'll be covering under tactics, is how to deal with that, and hopefully introduce you to some things that will get you to think outside of the box, and so it's not quite so hack and slash, so that you can be more creative like you can really do in the pencil and paper version of Dungeons and Dragons. I wish there was a little bit more fluidity or more options that you could have instead of just running down a channel. Maybe they'll get there. Time will only tell. So, like I said, this next series of videos is going to be focusing in on some specific area instead of the generalities that I've covered before. So, until next time, remember, my friends, to keep your weapons clean and sharp.